Meeting.
All right, it's a little past 9:30. We're going to go ahead and get started. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we come here today thanking you and praising you for all the blessings that you've given us and for the opportunity to help our community to just prosper and to grow. Be with us today, Lord, as we make decisions on the county and the money that belongs to the taxpayers. Help us to be good stewards of that money and help us to do your will always. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Alrighty, thank you all for joining us for the December 21st, 2022 meeting. We moved it out a little bit. Show all are present. Anyone have any business that needs to come before us? Seeing none, we'll move on to the agenda. Salary ordinance amendment number 2, 2022 and 2023. Tammy coming in to...
Yeah, can we
move it down
until she's ready?
All right. Let's go ahead and go to public defender.
Good morning.
Morning.
I've got about a 35-minute presentation prepared.
I'm gonna tear it down to about 40.
We got plenty of time.
No, you guys got a room full. You got stuff to do. You got Christmas shopping. Gotta go get your milk and bread.
There you go.
Absolutely. So last week or week before, I lose track of time now, the PD board, we were set to meet to assign our contracts, and we got our final budget. And our 463, I've highlighted that number, the 463,750, that's our line item where we do our contractors. That published number is what we've had in place for the 2022, and that's what we had requested for the 2023. And on the adopted budget, it was at 386,250. That's a 77,500, which would lose us about a contractor and a half. The way we do our contractors, you guys, I think most of you have heard of this skill before. We have weighted caseloads. So 1.0, 0.75, we have different weighted contracts. So we have 2 1.0 contracts and 5 0.75s. So losing the 77.5 basically would equate to 1.5 contractors. PD board said, let's hold off, let's not assign any contracts, cut contracts, let's go back to council, figure out if that was the intent, where we're at, what the situation is. I've had several conversations with Rachel at the auditor's office. It's my understanding that was not the intent. Because the issue would be is if we did come out of compliance, if we lost 1.5 in FTE is what it's called, contractors, we would fall out of compliance with our caseload standards. We get reimbursement of 40% from the state of most all we do with public defender stuff, except for misdemeanors. It still equates out to, on average, a conservative estimate for next year of $200,000. So a $77,500 cut to us would actually be a $122,500 cut to the general fund. Because as you guys know, the reimbursement comes back to general fund to fund other things that you guys have to fund. So I know where we're at in the calendar. I just want to get everybody together, see if we can get at least some type of game plan. If that is the intent, if we want to try to address it, we have some time. Contractors don't get paid in January. So as long as we had a process in place to get back on track, we could assign contracts. PD board could at the end of January, come February, be in place and nothing would be missed. We wouldn't have any compliance issues. Everything's based upon a quarter. We would basically continue business as it is. So wanted to have the discussion. My request today would be just the authorization of the notice of the additional appropriation. I know with the newspaper shutdown, that's not even going to be, I think, what is it, the 5th, whenever that is in January, and then let the new council address it at that time.
Well, the question I have, I mean, everybody else may already understand it, but was it a mistake that we made or a decision that we did not make, that we let this happen? Or
Yeah.
did we decide to do this on purpose, or?
The way their stuff goes, like you said, one public defender, it depends on how many caseloads they take on, so they could be 1.5. When we looked at it, I have on my budget papers that we estimated 6 public defenders. So when we looked at that, we thought that they were gonna be over 64, maybe they were gonna add a person to it. But the way they do it, they actually have 8, but you, like it's paid 7 full.
We have.
So it comes
yeah.
down to the 463, 750.
I think when we asked how many public defenders, I think it lost in translation, we were told 6 or we understood 6. It was a mistake on our part, I think. That's how I am seeing it.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I was thinking, because I don't recall it, really have a discussion about it, we talked about that a little earlier, but I don't think it really.
Can I make a motion to,
What's our fix gonna be for it?
Additional appropriation after the first of the year.
yeah, 'cause we,
And that'll amount to,
whatever the 77.
77.5.
77.5.
We
and
put
that'll
that in place
bring them
today.
to,
In
what they were last year?
compliance, yeah.
It'll be
Correct.
460.
Yes, yeah, we stay right on the borderline of compliance, and I have no,
The advertisement.
Alright, Lindy,
So
you motion?
463,
Yes,
and we're down, and we're 460,
yeah.
okay. So,
So I make a motion to advertise. Cause we have to advertise it,
Okay,
so.
I second that
Advertise
motion.
additional
I second it.
of 77.5. What am I say, at the beginning of the year, first meeting, or?
And that's all we have to do because of the reimbursement, correct?
if,
Meeting in-
yeah, if we stay compliant, then we keep getting the reimbursement.
Okay.
I got a couple of
Donnie
questions.
second.
Number one, you said we get 40% reimbursed. How's that running? Are we getting 40%?
We are.
The reason I ask, there was a period of time where we didn't get what the state said we were gonna get. We'd get a letter and said, oh, our finances are bad, you're only gonna get 20%.
Correct. When we first got into reimbursement, Scott County was one of the early counties, I believe it was as early as 2001, 2002, somewhere around in there that we got into reimbursement. The fund that was set up for reimbursement for the state was not, it would not roll over each year. They had more counties joining than they had funds. We were one of the counties that would, you know, a cut to Marion County of a certain percentage may not hurt them as much as it did us, but yes. So to give you an idea, so far for this year, the first quarter was 39,765 in reimbursement, 40,000. We don't pay contractors that first month, so that's why that number is a little lower. Second quarter was 54,000, third quarter was 54,000. Fourth quarter will be highest because we pay 2 times in December. We pay that January contractor payment out. To give you an idea, last year's fourth quarter was 72,000.
And previous years, it's been likewise or thereabouts.
That is correct. First, maybe second quarter of next year, we will cross over the $1 million number in reimbursement back to the county. And we started again in 2018, so
Okay, so that's running okay now.
it is running,
Okay.
yes.
The other question is, you talk about contracts, and that's with, attorneys.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I have no further questions.
All right, thank you all. Everybody have a Merry Christmas, happy holidays.
Alright, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Well, yeah, we have.
I thought we had a vote.
7-0.
You might lose.
I know. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Josh.
Thanks. Thanks for the information.
Alright, we wanna go back to salary ordinance. Are you ready?
I think we're ready with paper jams and a slow printer, because I wanted you guys to have this in color.
Thank you.
And I'll start by saying that the items in orange, I need clarification on. The salary ordinance has morphed over time from a 2 or 3 page conglomeration document to sections A. A is what I call the general, catches most everybody in employment at Scott County. Section B is elected officials only. Section C has to do with people, groups of positions that are not on the standard pay scheme, they're on a matrix, they're on a tiered system, they're on, they like probation, the employees in probation, they're on a state matrix, so to speak. So those are cordoned off into section C. So on section A, we'll start there. My first big question is part-time wages and full-time wages regarding raises. I know that the budget was kind of sent up with the parameters that most every position you thought you would try to make an allowance for a certain percentage. But did you want part-time people to get what percentage of a raise? Because I need to know that, because on this section A, do you give them a 3%, do you give them 1% and 2%? What was your idea about part-timers?
We did, we already voted on it.
Yeah.
It was 3% for full-time and 1% for part-time.
That's what I was
Or
thinking.
one
Okay,
and a half.
all right, because if you
Wasn't
look at
voted
what
on
our
that.
part-time extra help makes, like your treasurers, your clerks in the, little part-time clerks in the clerk's office, actually,
Shared, making up
their
the-
wage is $11.19 and 22. If you give them a 1% raise,
Who?
the part-timers, they're $11.19. If you give them a 1% raise, it's not a substantial increase. It is something, but it's not substantial. If a 3% raise was given to them, they'd go from $11.19 to $11.53 an hour. So I'm just throwing that out there. 1% is what you guys wanna stick with on the salary ordinance, that's what I'll go back and switch all these to. You have other people that are considered part-time, which is like your administrative secretaries, i.e. plan commission. I'm trying to think, we've got some part-times in corrections. People that, we need them to be here, and it would, again, a 1% raise, if that's, secretary's making $17.34, you know, it would not give them a whole lot bump up. So I just wanna just,
Well,
yeah.
I think we already voted on it,
And that's okay, that's fine, I just wanted to kind of call that to your all's attention, because it's on $11.19, a 1% raise isn't.
Well, then we
Is it
discussed in
significant?
February, talking about how EMS went to that tier
Yes,
and discussing that for all the employees in February.
yes,
The
so that,
tier system.
What I'd like to do besides EMS, cause I think they're different, I'd like to give 3% to every employee regardless of part-time or full-time, or regardless of what department it is. I'd like to give 3% across the board to everyone.
and that's up to you guys as a board. You can amend that next year if you wanna go ahead and adopt it, so we can get something in the system. If there's anything anybody decides after the first year, you can always amend your salary ordinance, and it's fine. I just was throwing that out there because I was just pointing out that 11 cents is not,
but we had,
Right.
but it's
that's fine.
11 cents,
Right.
it's something, but we'd already
Right.
voted on it, I mean, we discussed it, we'd already
That's
voted.
fine, I just wanted to make sure, because I didn't attend most of the meetings, and then what I saw on the, what I saw, I just wanted to just make sure, because I didn't know if it was 3% across the board or was divided, okay?
But I also think we have the power to go ahead and change that if we want to.
But we already agreed, I mean, if you
I know,
had
but we can agree.
objections, you should have done it during budget.
Did we not have to have the budget to the state on November 1st? That's why we had the meetings and we discussed it, we had the workshop and we voted on it to send it to the state on November 1st, correct?
I can have all this adjusted, I just threw the 3% in there so the whole spreadsheet calculates out that way, but I'll go back and pick the part-timers out and take them to 1. It's no problem, I just did the whole spreadsheet in 3, then I wanted to make sure that's what you as a board decided, because I have other questions. Positions like cemetery supervisor, they work seasonal. Is that a 1% or a 3% raise? Obviously, that's court ordered, so we have to do with that. 4D referee is a part-time position. Those are specialty positions that are involving with, I mean, I'm on the cemetery, but the court order is down for the cemetery. That's why we have a cemetery on the county. It's a court order thing. 4D referee part-time. Your health officer is part-time. Are those one or three?
They're part-time, they're 1.
Okay, All right, I'm just getting clarification, because these are people that are 365 days a year, a lot of them, but they're just part-time, you know what I'm saying? So, also emergency medical services, did that include instructors? Was that a 1 or a 3%? Because instructors, we need them, but there's $17 an hour in 22. A 3% raise would give them
You're
$17.51.
talking EMS now?
Mhm.
I thought they were on a tier system.
They're not instructors, those are specialty positions and
I
they're in the
No,
classroom.
we need to leave that.
I think there was 3 of them that.
He just gotta,
Yeah,
We
we're
just bumped
not,
him
we're
up.
not touching him, cause he just got a raise.
But this is not on the tier system. The
We know
people
that.
that aren't on the tier,
but he just got
He
bumped
just
up
got-
this
he
year,
just got
so I
a
think he'll
raise,
be
so-
fine.
You're
No,
talking
no.
about our part-timer,
No,
our
these-
first-time
instructors.
instructors.
These aren't, this is not your
Not
training
these.
officer.
Part-time instructor.
Yes.
So 1%.
Part-time, 1%.
Okay. All right, health officer then would be 1%. And if we go back to the second page on section A, it's not that it changes anything.
Before we leave that, I just wanna make a comment. We're not gonna rehash it. I know you keep saying we voted on it, but I don't understand why part-time people just get a percent and everybody else gets 3. I just wanna make that statement, that's all. Thank you.
Make it very little to begin with,
So,
and that's not even minimum
This-
wage.
Right.
I've got the public defender coordinator in orange. That's not because I have a question about it. I just wanted to call attention that did change because that is statutorily based. Also, your chief deputy, your matron, your jail commander, and the sheriff's section, no questions there. Those aren't your 3% raise because they are based on another person's wages that our states set. So those are things I'm calling attention to. If somebody questions, why didn't that change to this amount? It's because it changes because of other reasons. It's not a 3% raise category, okay? The next thing on the second page in section A is the Veterans Affairs Office. I have a question there, regarding the actual overall. There's 2 positions that are still here, as far as I know. You were funding that office 6 days a week before. You had 3 and 3, overlap 1 day. The way it is right now in 23, you're funding that office 8 days a week. Because you have a full-time officer, correct, by your budget decisions. And I'm assuming that would get a 3% raise from the year before, but it was part-time in 22, it's full-time in 23. Is that a 1 or a 3% raise? So, and then also the part-time officer there, is that still gonna be funded for 21 hours a week? Are you keeping the part-time officer?
Yeah, we had
Yeah.
discussed.
Okay, all right, I just wanted to make sure, cause like I said, I didn't know if you guys were gonna fund it 8 days a week instead of the 6 that you have been funding it. No, just questions. And is the 3-day-a-week person now a 1% raise and your full-time a 3% raise?
Full-time 1,
Okay,
or full-time 3 and part-time 1.
okay. Now the last one on here is your visitors and tourism. I know budget time, the salary was set, but is that for 23, or is that with a 3% raise?
That's what it is, it's a new position.
Okay, well, it's new for our county ledgers, but according to State Board of Accounts, it's not been a new position. It's one that should have been ran through the county's books, so to speak, for the last since its inception, I guess. So that's just my take on that. And so whenever you look at the part-time admin assistant in that category, you have somebody, I'm assuming that you're gonna have 3 days a week, because I think they're set up on 8-hour days, the way they've been working, but the county works on 7. So if her hours stay consistent, if she works 24-hour weeks, or 28-hour weeks, or whatever, how many hours a week are you gonna just keep it the same as they've always been working, but then take them to the 1% raise on 11-19?
So what does county work part-time?
County, we are 7 days a week in those 7 hours a day in those type of
And that's
departments.
and if it's a county position, then my
Okay.
take would be that she works county part-time hours.
Okay, so then would that be, since 11-19 is what you set it at for 22's rate, but they're going to be a position that you consider new in 23, does that position get the 1% raise.
I got a comment.
Cause you're gonna have disparity now between part-timers in certain positions, because your plan commission secretary has a more significantly increased wage than your visitors commission secretary. And they're doing basically the same type, they're in categories and they're classified pretty much the same. So I'm just bringing things to your attention, cause these are not my decisions, I just need something for payroll to go by, starting January 1.
You wanna sit up here?
No, I wanna be able to run if I have to. I don't wanna sit.
So what'd you just say about admin assistant?
Well, for example, if you go back to page 1, your administrative assistant in the plan commission, your secretary, whatever you want to classify it as, in 22 made $17.34 an hour for 21 hours a week. If you look at your part-time corrections,
Visitors Commission ought to get the same.
well, I'm just talking about keeping
I
consistency
know what
between
you're
types of
talking about.
positions.
I know what I'm talking about, and I'm talking about they ought to be the same.
Cause $11.19 an hour plus the
But
1%.
what are they gonna do now is the problem. The books are coming through here, they're writing the checks through here. What's that person gonna be doing now?
They're gonna be doing the same as they've always been doing, for as I know.
No.
I've asked for a job description and I never got one.
Because
I've asked
no
for-
one has one.
I'm sorry?
No one has one. We've asked for one too.
Okay, but we're gonna put a person
And that
in there, what
request
are we
has been
gonna
sent
expect them
to-
to do?
But we're
I'll
gonna-
tell you what I'll expect them, what the, director should do. He should be well groomed, he should be well mannered, he should be of a pleasant personality, he should have the ability to meet, greet in a positive manner. And, he should be able to conduct meetings with using up-to-date audio-visual equipment. He should have knowledge of or the ability to quickly learn the county good points and effectively communicate them to others. He ought to be able to prepare budgets and manage spending, and he ought to have the ability to run the operation with little or no supervision. And that individual in that position, I have gone and, taken like positions in the county, the highway, the 911, the 2 or 3 others, and averaged them, and they come out to 59,000. I say the man ought to make 59.5.
We're talking about the admin position right now.
Okay, we also gonna talk about the director's position. The admin position is, admin position like others throughout the county, and they ought to be paid the same. Marty Randall gets what?
The plan commission secretary gets $17.34 an hour in 22,
The secretary ought to get 17.34.
and then there's a 1% raise that.
That's my opinion. And the director
But what
should
is she
get.
gonna do now?
How much do other
Well, I don't know
part-time
what she's gonna
administrators
Cause
do
they're
now.
gonna do the books
with the
and the
1%?
checks.
I don't
Community
know.
corrections
It can be
with
adjusted
1%
later,
raise, what
but
if
now
they
we
would
need to do it.
Well,
We did this at budget,
I'll tell you
Raymond.
22's
Okay,
wages, cause I
that's
have
my
3%
opinion.
raises on this sheet.
I know.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Everybody,
Part-time assistant in community corrections, a part-time, makes $16.59 an hour, because those are scheduled, structured, part-time positions that we depend on to
So
be
that's my
here
opinion.
multiple days a week.
Do
These
with it
aren't
what you
seasonal, they're not treasurer's office that works for 4 or 5 weeks and leaves. Those are the $11.19 an hour
I don't
positions.
think we're gonna get anybody to work. for
$11.19 an hour positions are your seasonal, like your cemetery workers, your treasurer's workers, you know, people that you call in intermittently to help you. Somebody that you
I
depend
just don't understand
on.
why this is being debated. We did this in October, it's already been passed, it's already been to the state.
Your salary ordinance does not go to the state. These are what payroll is paid by Diane, so these are the things that we need to know detail
Done in
on.
October.
But it doesn't set your salary ordinance. You use your budget to form this, and this is why I'm asking these fine detail questions, cause I'm not asking about every position, just certain ones that were not clear as to what was gonna happen.
Ignore it and say we've already decided it, however you wanna do it. It's okay with me, but I've made a mistake.
Okay.
I'm just making sure that you guys don't have a bunch of amendments in January. okay? Because whenever this goes out and people will have questions, I just want it to be as clean and neat when I leave it as possible.
That's why 3% should have be given across the board. When you start dividing stuff up, here's what you run into. It should just been,
And if you guys wanna mull over this for a minute, let's go to section B real quick, cause I think this is an easy one, it's a yes or no. That's elected officials, did they get a 3% raise or no? I have 2 sheets there, and you guys
What do you guys wanna do?
didn't clarify in your budget hearings.
3% raise for elected officials.
I'll say no for elected officials.
I vote no.
Donnie? Ab?
I vote yes.
you gotta give me a minute.
I love you guys.
Asking, or are you asking all of us?
I'm asking everybody what we wanna do.
Republicans?
Huh?
You gonna give those guys more Republicans?
Elected official raises, 3%.
Elected officials, no way.
Look at Donnie's face. He just realized what he did.
Evidently not.
If that's not a deer in the headlights look, I don't
Well,
know what it is.
I think the important thing is
Elected officials. for
to
a
give
long
all the
time.
elected officials a raise. What is it? It costs us about 20,000.
I really do.
We're talking about
Are we talking about
assessor, auditor.
$15,000-$20,000 that never goes away?
Hey, as an elected official, I will say, I do not want a raise. I want anything that's going to be to go to my employees.
You already got a raise.
Well, I'm on state law.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So anything that would come with this would be to the employees.
Well, what I'm looking at, when you do the bottom line, if you do, you're elected official, you'd get it. What I'm saying is it's gonna cost us probably close to $20,000 that never goes away to give the elected officials. And it's nothing against them, but, I mean, that's quite a bit of money. Isn't it, Eric?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay,
I will say you all did, you did vote to get
we did.
all elected officials, it is in your budget.
We
What
didn't,
we sent to the state,
We-
you did.
Then what?
You tell me what you want now.
I can guarantee you I
You
did.
tell me what you want now.
I wasn't here that day.
Cause
so I
here's the
don't
thing,
know.
when I talk to individuals, and I know there's 7 of you, everybody's got there's a mixed mesh of stories. So, and if Teresa says that you guys approved it in your budget, then so be it. That'll be, you guys will approve the 3% when you'll
Yeah.
sign that one today.
Yeah, whatever, here's the thing. We're gonna have to, it appears to me that we're gonna have to go by what we've already done and just say, that's gonna have to be good enough. Now, I understand the questions that you have, and we'll just have to hash those out as we go. So, what's the question on the table? We'll hash it out and then move on.
This is the easy sheet.
So, no, wait a minute,
Let me ask the question.
let's go to the, go ahead.
Let me ask the question. Every full-time employee, every department gets 3% raise, besides, I'm not talking about elected officials.
And
Is that
the
the way
ones
it's
that are
set
held
up?
by statutory parameters, right, yes.
No, I'm talking about, could you explain that?
Well, there's certain salaries that are based on other people's salaries. So if the state raises, like, for example, Jerry's salary.
Right,
Those people,
I
and then
understand that
his
part.
chief deputy is based on his salary, not a 3% raise scheme rate, it's based on
Okay.
his salary.
I'm just gonna use him for an example. Does his deputies, jailers, are they getting 3% raise?
We've not got to that page yet,
No, okay.
we're not there yet, that's section C.
all right, so I said, Eric says he's not for 3%, he's for 50 cents.
Wouldn't that be easy? Everybody gets 50 cents.
All right, 2023 budget,
I remember that,
oh,
yeah.
I remember that, I do remember.
So.
Donnie, motion adopt 2023 ordinance 2022-011, so what
You
was,
disagree with me, though.
I'll vote no.
I think that's is that the ARPA bonus? I think that's the ARPA bonus, wasn't? That
Nope.
ordinance
It
one?
would have been that too, but.
Was that your budget order? No, I can't remember.
It says budget 2023 adoption ordinance 2022-001 entered is 3% full, 1% part-time. Was that at our meeting or was that budget? This was budget meeting, October 26th. All were present, so all should remember.
Oh, I do remember what we did, yeah.
Alright, so if we voted on it,
Okay.
roll at 3%.
Okay, that's good.
But that's for every full-time employee, right?
3% full-time, 1% part-time.
Okay, rather than, okay, so tell me how we're going to do the matrix scheme for the sheriff's office, the jailers and the officers. What was your plan for those as far as raises?
1.5 to put them to the 3
Because of the annual 1.5?
because of their matrix.
Okay,
Well, I misunderstood that. It might be too late now, but I misunderstood that. I thought it was 3% for every full-time employee across the board in every
But
department.
they get 1.5 on their matrix.
But-
So then 1.5 bumps
Okay.
them to 3.
All right, I'm gonna kinda explain something. If a man's making $10 an hour, we're giving him 3% on what he's making. That 1.5% is already in place. So to get the same raise that the rest of the county employees get, they should get 3%. Because 1.5 is automatically already there, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but they get a raise every year. Now, everybody else
But
hasn't
we-
got a raise for,
But we didn't base it on that, or I didn't.
that's why we did
We
1.5.
said 3% for every employee,
Total
not,
of 3%.
not a 1.5% because they already get 1.5%. They get that regardless if nobody gets a raise.
Right.
So it's 3% on what they're making.
Except for them. We said EMS stay to their tier pay, cause they said they were fine with that, cause it all just started. Sheriff adjust matrix to 1.5% raise, and that'll equal them to the 3% total that we're giving everybody.
Okay, it was my fault, but I didn't understand it that way.
Yeah, I thought we were doing 3%. I don't know.
And I think, to me, if we can change it, and I think this board has the power to change it, I think it needs to be 3% on top of what they're already getting. I think that's just fair to every employee, because if not, they're truly not getting what everybody else is getting.
and what I did today was not meant to confuse or contradict or go back against anything you guys have decided in budget. I had questions, clarifications, and I will go change based on what you just relayed to me. Some things that I have on here, it won't take me very long, and I'll be back in a little bit unless you need me to go on to something else that I have. I don't have anything else. Okay, all right.
What is the board, can we change some things today?
I'm not gonna change anything we already voted on.
You're not?
No, I mean, I'd vote for, if you wanna change things, I'll go back, everybody gets 50 cents. I'll be for that.
No, I won't.
That fix
because I
all
gotta
of
go
it.
change all of it.
That fix everything.
So I'll go by what you guys told me on adjust those part-times, and I think I've got it there, okay? So,
Do you have what you need?
I think this clarified a lot of things for me, and I will be back in a little bit. I'll get these cleaned up.
But besides Eric, so nobody wants to go 3% across the board?
I'd go 3% across the board,
That's
because
what we were doing.
that's,
I'm
because
so
I'm
confused.
1%.
When we were at budget, why didn't
I
you
don't
guys
understand
fight
what you're
this?
saying.
Teresa
I
asked
thought
us.
when I
We had her do it at 3, 5, and
We're
1.
giving 3% across the board.
And we saw the papers all across the board.
I understand that, but
Right.
we're human, we can make
And 1%
mistakes, and sometimes we don't understand. I'm just saying,
I thought when we ended the meeting with the sheriff's department, you all voted to do the 3% on top of the 1.5.
That was my understanding too. Because
Well-
what you do is on a matrix is you go to the base pay and you put 3% times the base pay and it just fills in all the way to the top. Because if you put 1.5% in, what's gonna happen is next year, it's gonna screw everything. There's gonna be people with the same amount of time on, making different amounts of money.
well, I misunderstood. I thought we was giving 3% to everybody that was full-time, on top of what they was gonna get anyway.
So how does that affect the EMS with their new tier system?
It doesn't.
EMS is a whole different ballgame. They're different.
And I added them just as their schedule was adopted.
And
Yes,
we asked Nick and made sure,
That was real quick.
They're doing that. That's what we're striving to do.
yeah. we talked to Nick and he understood that.
3% raise? They built theirs, they're into their tier system.
Yeah.
All right.
Their tier system pretty much covered that. And that's on your, I moved EMS, most of that off of the page A, at section A to page C. So those are all underneath that aren't on a regular, that have their specialty pay system, they're on that section C. So I can answer you guys back there.
Let me ask the question. Can I make a motion to, 3% across the board?
You can, I mean, if you set it on the salary ordinance as 3%, the next council will have to do the additional appropriation.
Okay.
In place.
Okay.
It has to be advertised.
I wanna make a motion that all employees get a 3% raise. And that includes, even the part-time people, because they're not getting much anyway.
Budget gonna be able to stand that since we just gave a $1,300?
I don't know.
That's why we did this
Okay.
percentage, cause we gave a $1,300 bonus.
I'm just making a motion, okay?
Okay. Donnie motion, all employees get a 3% raise across the board.
I'll second it.
Ab second. All in favor? 3. All opposed? 4. Alright. Raymond, did you have a motion you wanted to make?
I think I did, but I forgot what it was.
Visitors Commission?
I wanna make a statement about the sheriff's, and it's not in the form of a motion, it's just going from my memory, and that's dangerous. As I recall, back when we adopted the sheriff's program, we said that we would do 1.5 cents a year, not that we would not ever do any more. We would do at least 1.5 cents. Not that we wouldn't do 3 or whatever down the road. That's the way I remember that. Back to the Visitors Commission, we have the full-time officer at 35,999, and I know we voted on that. You folks that wanna say, yeah, we voted on it, I agree with that. But I ask you, do you think you'll hire anybody for 39 or 35? I don't think so. And I have looked at this, I got to thinking about it after we had our meeting, and I thought, and I voted for it. I asked for a job description, didn't have one. Anyway, to make a long story short, I would like to make a motion that on the salary ordinance, it's called full-time officer visitors tourism. I would like to make a motion that salary be 59.5, and that would include the 3% raise for 2023. I would like to make that motion.
Can I say something real quick?
As far as the director's concerned, or the chair's concerned, she wants to let you make it yes.
Rachel?
Go ahead.
So I get what you're saying, but we have asked them, and this, I'm gonna put this back on them. We have asked for job descriptions, we have asked for information. So I am putting this back on them. We have nothing to base a salary on.
Agreed.
So we are putting a salary in. If they want to eventually give us a job description, then
Agreed.
that can always change. If the job description we feel needs more money, but I'm putting this back on the Visitors Commission because we have asked and asked and asked, and they will not comply. So this is what we're doing until we have some information to go on.
Okay.
That's my,
Okay, so we don't know then what he's gonna do after, he depositioned the
we have
director.
no information to go on.
We don't know what they're gonna do after 1 January.
Yeah, I mean, we have no information to go on.
We don't know what they're gonna do, so we're gonna give them 35, okay.
So commissioners make a decision. All right, anybody second?
That's my motion.
I'll second that.
Donnie will second, brings it to a vote, all in favor of, Raymond's motion was that the salary be 59,500, that would include a 3% raise for 2023. Donnie seconded, all in favor? 2, all opposed? 5. Can't count. Okay,
Thank you,
thank you.
appreciate it.
Alright, we're done for salary ordinance for right now. Let's move on. Clerk vote, the vote center ordinance.
Where we at?
Clerk, we're going to the,
vote center.
it's a couple pages back.
We already did the public statement.
Morning.
Good morning. How are you all?
Wonderful.
So I'm here today to present, sorry, I can't talk very loud. We have, as the clerk's office and the election board, we have went to the commissioners and we are starting the process. Both parties, the Democrat and the Republican Party, has came to the election board and has asked that we start the process of moving our county from voting precincts to a vote center. Within that process, there are steps, and I have printed this for you guys. Sorry. For everybody, this is the proposed budget changes that will help with county and with it, but in the back, you'll see that there are 7 steps that is recommended by the Secretary of State on how to do this. And the first step is to go to the commissioners and to the council and request a resolution, or to propose a resolution for us moving the processes to a vote center. So that is what I'm here for. The commissioners, we did this with commissioners and they voted unanimously to start this process of moving to a vote center. And so that's why I'm here today with the resolution to get a vote for that.
It makes sense.
I make a motion to approve.
Yeah, I'll second that motion.
This is just a motion to consider it and to go through all the,
No, this is to do it.
to do.
So what will happen, so the steps is, the first step is to come to the commissioners and the council to get the resolution, and then the rest will be upon the election board. And we have the steps, like I said, there's the steps there. We will have everything that we have to go through the election board, and the rest is through the election board, and then us filing our vote center plan with the state and making sure that we have met compliance of what state statutes say of what a vote center has to be. So once this is through the council, it actually takes it out of the hands of the commissioners and the council and puts it into the election board, and us making sure that we are meeting what the state requires for us to do to be a vote center.
What brought this up? Why is this bringing up now?
So, both of the party chairs of our county, the Republican and the Democrat, came to me, and it is getting harder and harder and harder to get poll workers. And what this will do, it will open up the law to where we can have poll workers a certain way. If precinct-wise, to give a little history, so precinct-wise, we have 16 precincts in the county. And so there are 2 ways that we can do these precincts with poll workers. We have combined some of our precincts to where they vote in the same place. But we either have to have an inspector, 2 judges, and 2 clerks per precinct, or in our places that we vote, our 6 places that we vote, we can have 1 judge, or 1 inspector, 2 judges, 2 clerks, and the election board will have to have a meeting to assign assistant poll clerks. So you would have a polling place, so say you have like, Jennings or Vienna that has 5 precincts that vote, you would either have 25 poll workers, because you have to have 1 per precinct, 1 election board per precinct, or you can have 7, the potential of 5 to 7. And in your larger precincts, it's very hard to run those polling places with just 7 workers. And plus, with COVID and just people working, it's getting harder and harder to find poll workers.
Another important thing to note, vote centers is, so right now, you gotta go to the precinct
Yes,
to
that
vote
was,
where you're
yeah,
supposed to vote, right? Vote center is different. Anyone from any precinct can go to that vote center and vote at that vote center. I think the proposed plan would potentially include 2 vote centers during city elections, potentially 3 vote centers during county elections. It would allow and possibly make it easier for people who have to work farther away from their precinct on election day, that they don't have to drive back, stand in line to vote there, get back to their job in time. So it also increases accessibility for voters in general, or at least that's the idea.
Yeah.
To be clear, you guys will not vote today on what type of plan is adopted. This is just an initial step. These resolutions have to be included within the plan by statute. But ultimately, what plan is adopted is gonna be decided at the election board level, and it must be decided by unanimous vote.
yes.
I think there's a second, well, we're gonna be at step 3, assuming that you would adopt this resolution, which is kind of an opportunity for the election board to form subcommittees, which could potentially include 3 members of council to assist with coming up with what the draft plan will look like and have input into that plan. But ultimately, just to be clear, the final decision-making is gonna happen at the election board level after a public hearing and after public comment.
Yeah, that's
Do
why.
we have information on other counties or other areas that do this and the turnout, and if it's been decreased or increased in voters over the change? I mean, do we have any demographics, any information on that? I worry about the
That's what
elderly.
step 2 is.
Huh?
Step 2, form a study committee.
Okay.
Well, you answered my second question, so that was the second question I had. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Anybody else?
We didn't have any problems finding poll workers this last election, did we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can attest to
I thought
that.
you said you had
So,
plenty of poll workers and you
I
could
had
get it all out of the way.
exactly enough, but I had no alternates. And the day before, I literally was calling both party chairs saying, okay, this person is backed out, this person is backed out, this person is backed out. I need help, I need to find these.
Okay, how does the cost compare with this vote center?
So that is the very first page that I gave you on that. There's the difference between the cost.
And the vote center, I'm not looking at that right now, but I mean, it may still be the same place that it already is, except it's just combined
Yes.
precincts.
So literally anybody can vote at a vote center, so, I have ideas of where I think should be, the vote centers should be, but that will be decided by the committee when we form our committees, we do our studies.
So really, we won't know any of that. We will as time goes on, but.
Yes, you
but
will
right
know.
now, we don't.
Yes, because we have, so in the plan, it says we have to have public hearings, we take questions from the public, it's a very transparent, open, public,
Yeah.
all of this will have to go through, yes.
Yeah.
And I think you should be
Vote to approve when they-
aware of when they form subcommittees so that
Yes,
you can kind of work out who from the council you want to participate in helping to draft the plan, because once the plan's adopted, any future amendments in future years, so say you get demographic information back that makes you think that you need a vote center in a different location, or you need more vote centers, or whatever the case may be, any amendment to that plan is gonna be only at the election board level. And in then it's gonna get filed with the state,
Is it
so it's gonna be a much.
So that was kind of my question. We can't know any of that today, no matter what, 'cause it's not even been discussed.
No, we are still, we're
Absolutely, yeah.
trying to get,
But at this time, I think it is important to know that it was, both party chairs were consulted, is my understanding, I think,
yes.
and both are in favor, after consulting with, members of the community. So-
Okay, so Lindy motioned to start the plan for Scott County to become a vote center, resolution number 2022-R-014, and Donnie seconded.
Well, I didn't get, I was gonna make that motion, I didn't get.
They already got it. All right, all in favor of letting this or the plan start? 7-0.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
I just need you to sign this on the yes side, everyone.
Will ultimately be a cost saving to the county,
It will.
you know, for this is less
I
people.
mean, unless the county grows and grows and grows, you know, then we may have to add more vote center areas. But I mean, that's a good thing, population growth is good. So,
Well, my concern is we don't make it any harder for people to vote.
Right, it's gonna make it easier.
so the good thing about a vote center is,
Should be easier, really.
is if you have somebody that works at Morgan's but lives in Lexington, on their lunch break, unless they do early voting, they potentially on their lunch break have to get from Morgan's to Lexington. That will eliminate all that. They can go, we obviously will have one in Austin. They can go to that vote center right in Austin and vote and then go back to work. If somebody lives in Austin but works in Scottsburg, they can come to the vote center in Scottsburg and vote. You are not designated to your precinct of where you have to vote. It'll make it to where anybody can vote anywhere. So that's all I have.
How many times did you have people show up at the wrong precinct?
Oh my gosh, a lot. Like I feel those phone calls and they're like, I'm supposed to be here, and I'm like, no, you're actually supposed to be there. And the thing is I feel like that is a potential for voters to be like, well, I don't have time to run to another precinct, staying in line. So we filled those phone calls all day long. So that's all I have.
Thank you.
How was
Have a
easy?
good day.
You're welcome.
Thank you, good luck. So that'll cut down on the machines that we have to have for the new printing system too, won't it?
So we still have to have the same amount of machines because machines are based on population, but it will determine how many that we use. I won't have to use all 70 some of the machines. So,
Good deal.
yes.
They got names on there.
Yes.
All right, Health Department grant application.
How are you guys?
Good morning, wonderful. How about yourself?
Can't complain.
Okay, so I just have a couple grants. These are ones that I do every year. They're actually, through Indiana code, so there are our local health maintenance trust and our local health maintenance fund accounts. Every health department gets them. It's based on your population. And for council members that will be here next year, I'm actually gonna come back and talk to you guys a little bit about these funds. The state's trying to, change how they are given to health departments with some legislation next year, and so I'm gonna give you guys some information about that at the beginning of the new year. But basically, we have one for $17,474.54. Another one is for $33,139.
What was it, 17?
$17,474.54.
I see on both of them, it says county match, no.
Correct, yes. I was like, oh, did I do that?
Okay.
That's
County
correct.
match,
Yeah.
no, that's, I would move to approve both.
And commissioners did approve these at their last meeting on 12/7.
I'll have to vote with you. I'm gonna have to go along with you.
You're gonna go along with it?
Is that a second?
Eric second. All in favor?
Second, yeah.
7-0.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you, Rick.
Do you have one to sign? Okay. I think you actually have two to sign. If not, I have copies. There should be another one. It's 17.
I just have one. I don't have the other one.
Oh, it's right underneath there.
No, that's highway department,
Oh, is it? I'm sorry.
or drainage board.
Okay.
was
Got what
crazy,
you
I'm like,
need?
I didn't see
Yeah.
that. You're coming in front of us, you don't wanna take over another time?
No. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
You do have to get the commissioners on one of them.
They signed them both on the 7th.
Oh, okay. one
Yeah,
of them.
one of them got lost in translation,
Okay,
so
not a
the shuffle,
problem.
but it's fine, I had a copy.
Okay, not a
Thank
problem.
you.
All right, and thank you for that, you've been wonderful to work with,
Yeah,
so,
you have to.
thank you guys.
Thank you.
Sir. You got it.
All right, EMS grant application.
Well, unfortunately, the grant that we were hoping to be able to get, we're not going to be able to now, so, we can take that off of there.
All right, so lit public safety additional appropriation.
Yes.
Last meeting, you all discussed giving them some funds from lit for, supplies and, see, it was supplies and fuel and possibly their salaries. So I did advertise $175,000 from the lit fund for your consideration. We did tell you, oops, sorry, Hans. We did tell you all that they would probably be needing funds for the salary and for the fuel. So you all directed me to do the advertisement for this meeting. And by our calculations, we are gonna be needing, especially in salary.
Yeah.
So, I'm asking that you all do approve the 175. We will only use what is needed to get them through the end of the year for fuel and salary.
Believe it or not, I think I did.
I thought we did 150.
Cause it was a.
You did,
Finish the year.
at that time you did, you said 150, and then it was, I think it was 15 for some,
For medical supplies.
medical supplies. So I rounded up on 175 in case they would need it in their salary line, and I think they're going to. So, again, any funds will only be used for those two things, fuel and salaries, to get them through to the end of the year.
And
Medical
and
supplies.
supplies.
Medical supplies,
supplies,
fuel,
yes.
and salary.
Move to approve.
I second it.
Go back to my page. Add motion, fuel.
I remember, I think, yeah, I remember this, finish the year.
I'm about to have heart attack.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I do
Fuel,
that.
medical supplies, and salary. You second? Who seconded?
I did.
Donnie?
Yeah.
All right, all in favor? 7-0.
All right,
Thank you, ma'am.
guys.
Have a good day.
ARP request, highway. Is he not here?
I guess not.
Denied.
Don't move on it then.
Okay.
Well, I guess that's a no.
I'd have to join you.
Right?
Did he know we changed the meeting to today?
Something wrong.
I don't know, man.
Request that go on the agenda, so.
A commissioner request? Was that for the tractor? I think they might wanna wait for the next board.
Yeah. That made it easy.
All right, highway transfer requests.
They are requesting a transfer of $10,000 from, in, 1176-30108 in the maintenance and 531 from contractual striping to 22220 salt and calcium chloride to cover shortage.
Move to approve.
Lenny motioned, Eric second. All in favor? 7-0. All right, Lair grant, 3 requests.
the application for 2023 Lair Grant Lake and River Enhancement level update. The grant that we received last year, it was approved, and there are only 2 log jams that are remaining, and they're still working on it, and they have until fall of 2023 to finish those grants. That also involved local match from Jackson County. So this year, a new log jam was discovered on the Jennings County side, so they have decided to apply for a new grant, so they don't use the Jackson County matching part on the Jennings County side. So we're requesting $30,000 in grant, and the local match portion will be $75,000. Half of that can be in $7,500. Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Math is going good this morning. Not right. So it's $7,500, sorry, pardon me. And half of which can be in cash and half of that can be in kind. So not more than half can be in that. And to apply and to prepare for this application, we need $1,500 grant funding.
So the 1,500 would be in addition to your 7,500 in local match for us, River Hills, to prepare that application. And then we would take that to the commissioners this evening, a contract that we have for 1,500 to prepare it, so. I would just further what Apoorva has said, that DNR has been a great partner through this process with Scott County to try to clean up the Muscatatuck and do what they can to push money down this way, which ultimately obviously helps our drainage issues in the county. So we've been in close contact with Everett Hunley a lot. And we weren't even certain that we were going to be able to apply for the 2023 funds because you had to spend down so much of the funds you had received previously, but DNR said yes, absolutely, go ahead and apply for that newly discovered log jam, so.
I move to approve.
Do what?
I move to approve. I second. We need to clean up.
Lindy, motion to approve that we go ahead and do the 1,500.
Yes, and then of course the commissioner will present that to the commissioners this evening to sign off on that. And just to, oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm just gonna kind of explain it in regular terms for everybody that doesn't know what that means, if I'm right. What we're doing is, I mean, we're paying half of what it costs to remove these log jams, right?
You're not even paying half, you're paying 20%.
20%.
20%,
Yeah.
okay. So in the past, we were just kind of stuck because we didn't have any help.
Right.
And we still were
Responsible.
being encouraged and responsible for trying to do these, so this is a good deal.
It is, and it's been difficult. I mean, even my time at River Hills, we've been trying to address storm drainage issues throughout the county, and there just aren't a whole lot of funds out there, but these are accessible to us, and it's one way to try to address those issues, so.
And now we've got Jackson and Jennings working, right?
Yes, Everett's going to reach out to Jennings County. We're not certain, neither was DNR, that they have a drainage board. But Everett is going to try to connect with one of the commissioners or council people to see if they're interested in participating in part of the local match. But to move forward, we need that commitment from you all to move forward with the application. So, and just to kind of, how many total grant have we brought in? 1/3, 1/3?
Yeah. We have,
Sorry,
yes,
I'm putting you on the spot.
No, 130, that is
Okay.
correct.
So the past couple of rounds, we were able to help you with getting 130,000 in grant funds. So just to kind of give you an idea of what will be coming, if this is awarded, River Hills will come in on the back end and request some funds as part of a contract to administer those funds. We've been spending a lot more time on these grants than we initially had, so it won't be exponential by any means, but just to cover what we're doing essentially, so.
Okay, so I have a motion from Lindy. Lindy motion to approve for River Hills to start the application for this grant. in the amount of 30,000, then we'll be responsible for 7,500 and 1,500 for the application to be prepared. And I have a second from Diane. I was getting there. All in favor? 7-0.
I think that's all we've got.
Thank you, ladies.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next we have the sheriff with the contract with the city and City of Austin and the City of Scottsburg. Are we changing it, or are we?
It's already been done, it just needs your signature, we didn't have a chance to get it signed. So the commissioners approved it, 2 weeks ago, or a month ago, I guess that.
The second.
Second. It just needs your signature.
Did anything change on it from last year?
We got a pay raise.
It was raised, $5,000 from Austin and Scottsburg, so a total of $10,000. Is that?
Raised up to 15,000.
Yeah, they went from 10 to 15 each, so
Okay.
total of 10,000. Basically, and I think those invoices have already been submitted, but the city needs a copy of the approved amendment to the contract, signed by commissioners and council, to pay out the increase. Does that make sense? Yep.
So we've already approved this thing.
You need to approve it and
We need to
sign.
approve it now.
This is an amendment to it, yeah.
This is the,
I mean, it's already contracted.
I make a motion to approve.
Yeah, so.
I'm assuming from your comments that you've seen this and the original.
That, you'll look
I'll
at
second.
that amendment, it only changes some very specific sections in that contract. I think it changed some of the hours or days that, were available for those cities, and then it changed the compensation, or the remuneration from the two entities with the contract, obviously. the city.
But as to format, content, and, implications, you're okay with all that?
Yes.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay,
I
thank you.
seconded.
Well, forgive you then.
All in favor? 7-0. All right, cemetery, additional appropriation request.
I advertised, $5,000 to see them through. The gas and oil is negative, so we need to up that appropriation for the end of the year.
So moved.
I'll second.
I like secretary guy. We should have.
All in favor?
That's the only reason you do it?
7-0.
Cause you like them?
Yeah. Well, it's good for the county too.
Ecotech claims for transfer station.
Ecotech.
Give me a minute. I wanna know. We'll leave this for you guys.
And I'm gonna need to go get those from her real quick. Hang on just a second.
Yeah.
While we're waiting, I have a little pamphlet in my drawer. It said retirement party for Patty Hall. After nearly 35 years of hard work and dedication, it is time for a permanent vacation. Please join us as we honor Patty Hall on January 13th from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Zoa Christian Church. RSVP to Michelle or Brittany.
I didn't think Patty was that old.
And then also, we
I
have
didn't think Patty
a
was that old.
thing to think about for you guys that'll still be here. 2023 River Hills Regional Planning Commission member appointments. We appoint a person to that board. And here's the paperwork to fill out, so I'll just leave that with you. They need to know by February 15th. Pass that on down. Anybody else have anything while we're waiting?
I don't need your chair.
I'm just taking it because I'm the vice president, I guess. I guess I just have to do it. Whatever. January.
I'm almost there. Almost got it. Can, Ecotech, the Ecotech, whatever the claims for that. I brought this to the commissioners several times. I know Teresa got you guys to do the additionals for the extra money funds that we had as far as the proceeds from the rental of the health department property and the remainder of the timber fund. We do have the rental property is constantly being billed and receiving in money. So basically they okayed payment of the claims, but they asked that I take it back to council and let you guys direct as to where this was going to be paid from. So I guess I'm just gonna come back. We have two sets here. This is the one that I actually took them.
I thought we made a
These are the
decision.
last two of the year.
No, these are the ones that we owe Ecotech right now.
Oh, well, you gotta pay
The
them.
one that I took to them,
Yeah, you gotta pay the bills.
yes,
Is
but
there,
it,
how far behind in billing are they? I mean, it's like 3 months or something like that?
No,
So
it's
then-
more than
More
that.
than 6 months?
we start in June. Okay, so the June, July, and August bills, there's enough money in the rental proceeds fund with that one getting receipts, coming in at $1,500 a month. We could use $16,457.70 from rental proceeds.
So it's $1,500 a month from Ecotech?
No, that's what. we
Rental
get from
proceeds
rental.
gets money in it, so it's gonna be replenished eventually, but it's, of course, you're spending, so you're not gonna get to keep it. So if we could use $16,457.70 from rental proceeds fund, which had a balance, on December the 7th of $16,568.37, so we basically wiped that out, but again, we get $1,500 a month that comes back in, and $4,500 was outstanding still, and they have paid $3,000 of that already. They owe us, I think, December's bill. Okay, so, but anyway, we could do that, and then the other fund is the timber fund, and
You did an additional appropriation of $17,215 from the, rental fund.
so they've got that entire amount there. Then on timber, they did the whole thing as well, and that was about $30,000, I think. So, and you could use 20 out of timber and leave 10 in timber, okay? And then
That's all
deplete.
that will be left in timber, is 10,000?
That's it, there's no revenue unless.
No,
they
I
cut
know,
more.
I didn't realize, I know, I didn't
It's
realize.
gone.
Yeah.
Along with everything else, it's gone.
And cover this bill that they approved, that would pay us through August, end of August. Then we have September and October's bills that Ecotech has billed us for, and that's $26,202.90.
September and October, 26.
But this is the one that they approved, and I've got
Okay.
enough,
How much is that one gonna be?
$26,202.90, so $26,203.
Just for September and October?
Yes.
So we're required to,
We have,
okay, the one that they've approved.
But they want you to pick from which funds.
Oh, we ain't using ARP money, that's the one that they want us to use.
Well, it's between the two that you've already done additionals for. Do you want us to wipe out all the funds that you appropriated?
And pay all these bills, or just do these and leave a little bit in there and hang on to those till January 1, or how do you, I mean, again, this is another thing that we're just leaning on whoever's supposed to have the authority.
What do we
They
have left
authority to
in
approve
general?
claims. Do what?
What do we have left? What do they have left in there?
The general fund?
Well, let me ask you, I mean, just for business purposes, don't we pay after the commissioners approve normally? I mean, we pay things that the commissioners don't approve, is what I'm saying. Should we let them approve it first?
They have. This one,
Well, I mean,
they've approved
well, I know that.
36,457, but they're leaning on council to decide where it's
What about
being paid
these?
from.
I know, what about these, the other ones?
That, I don't have approval for them to pay yet.
Okay, so we don't have to deal with that at all.
This is the one I'm really dealing with, but I'm just telling you that
July
this
and
is
August.
on the table still for next.
Just letting us know.
That's coming.
This is down the, I mean, this isn't over. 22 is not
So you
over.
guys wanna do rental
That's
proceeds?
July and August.
Since it rebalanced?
This is September and October. This is June through August.
Otherwise it'll not,
Yes, these are 3 months.
cause you can use timber fund for really anything.
Yeah, do rental,
Well, where are we gonna pay it from?
rental.
Rental proceeds,
Huh?
rental proceeds or timber?
Oh, okay, okay.
Well, you gotta use both to get
Okay.
this bill paid. That's what I was saying.
So how much is that one total?
Okay, timber, you have $30,000 in it. You could use 20 of the 30 and leave 10 in
Stop.
timber.
What's the total, the complete
Total
total?
is
Alright, I thought it was
36,457.70.
16,457.
That's the other fund, that's what we have to pull from the other fund to make the 20 plus the 16 is gonna give you the 36. We pull from 2 funds. Pull
Okay.
20 out of
Doesn't
timber
matter, yep.
and 16,457.70 out of rental proceeds, and you've got this bill paid.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second. I'll second.
That was the plan all along.
Well, I didn't get the complete total bonus, so I thought you wanted us to pick one or the other. I thought the total
Well,
that you
I
were
was
looking
telling
for
you
was the
what we
total
had,
rental
but-
proceeds.
And I brought that to them, and they said, take it to council and let them decide. I
They
said,
always
okay.
do. Alright,
Well, we will.
I'm not gonna muddy the water, but in timber fund, you did appropriate.
Yeah, what about it?
You appropriated the total amount, 30,644 in contractual services, so 17 in one, 30,644 in another. So you can choose to pay all of it if you want, it's appropriated. So whatever we have, yeah, let me go back to that.
See what we're making on that, cause I'm afraid
Because
timber
it-
may have to be used for sticker.
In your,
you have to go ahead and vote on this one.
hang on, there might be a caveat to that, because in your, in the SASCO fund, every year when there is a deficit at the end of the year, timber usually takes care of that. So, in other words, I'll have to adjust over whatever the negative is.
I think we got it.
Yeah, but we're waiting.
We gotta make sure we don't need more money.
And this is not unusual with the transfer station for the last 2 to 3 bills that leaches over into the next year. It's not unusual, so this is about the situation I think we're in most years. So this one right here is probably January business, I would assume, cause I guarantee you we're probably gonna need all of that timber for the.
Right now, SASCO fund negative is 18,387.13. 18,387.13. So that has to come first, because we cannot leave that fund negative. At the end of the year.
So we need to take that out of timber fund.
That's gotta come off first. And then we can pay whatever bills are.
So I'm gonna take this one back to Mandy right now.
So if that's 18, and then
So
we've
what-
got 36,
Mm-hmm.
so where else?
What I'm saying is, the 18 I'll take out of timber first. So whatever's left over, we can use to pay whatever bills we have.
Okay. And then take the rest out of rental?
Rental.
Okay,
Up to what you appropriated.
and that will cover it.
It's
That
not
won't
gonna,
cover
there's
the-
not enough money.
Now we got some money.
So
No,
now,
that
so-
one's 18, the other one's 16 by itself, and then we were gonna take some out of timber.
We've got any outstanding from Walmart that we could bring, we just got a few days to collect that money.
Yeah.
So that would leave 36, 18, 4.
So what do we have in
So that's
general?
40, almost 45,000 that we need. And we had 16 in rental proceeds.
And 3644 in the other one.
So that's gonna,
But the 36 isn't 36, it's 8, because we're taking 18 away from it.
Right.
so we're gonna need at least 4,000 on top of this.
What do we have in, what do we have in, do we have in general?
The general fund, to the difference,
The 4,000, yeah, the difference?
There's only 2,700 that's not been sent from them. We're sold up and collected, and $2,700 is all that's waiting in the wings to come in on the, stickers. So, I mean, there's still gonna be 15,000 easy in the stickers. But Sasco, it's still gonna be negative, easily.
I guess we need to come up with an extra 4,000, whatever it is.
Somewhere around 4,000 would,
Right way, let me go finish this off.
Yes.
get what we're saying? Cause you need 36 here and 18 here.
Yeah,
That's just 650 feet.
I amazed, we get out of general, we've got one more pay to pay. But there's an appropriation in general, there's like $9,000. So I possibly could do transfers and pay a portion of it.
What other, is there travel or anything in commissioner's line item they haven't used?
Commissioners are, no. No. That fund, or that department will be spent. Let me look at yours.
I'm this close to getting your salary ordinance done, I'm gonna slip it on the deal.
Okay. I think I can pull out of your budget, if you create the line, contractual services in your budget, you're probably gonna have about 16 left unexpended.
So we'd have to make a line item for
Contractual
contractual services.
All right, do I have a motion to create line item contractual services in our budget?
I'll motion.
I second.
Lindy, Diane second, all in favor? 7-0, we got a line item. How much did you say was gonna be left?
I'm gonna guess, cause you've got about 2,900 left to expend for the last pay, and there's 20,000, so 16-ish, almost 17.
Okay, so we'll have 17, so it'll take us down to 13. All right, do I have a motion to move 4,000 to the newly created line item contractual services?
Well, then, well,
Well, I think I'll capture your motion here in a minute, hang on to that thought.
All right,
I was gonna ask if that's gonna be, or should we do a little bit more?
Well, of course, at the end of every year, I ask you as a council to approve that you give me the authority to make all adjustments and transfers needed to do the end of year cleanup, so if you'll do that, I can take care of it.
motion to allow Teresa to do end of year cleanup.
End of year
adjustments. As needed. Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Yeah. Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Diane second. All in favor? 7-0. All right, everybody have a chance to read the minutes? Hmm?
Are we doing?
Yes, I read the minutes.
Let's see, there was, we did there was October and November,
November.
right? Do I have a motion to approve?
I shall move.
Diane. I'll second. All in favor? Pass, 7-0.
Are we?
Waiting on the salary ordinance?
Oh, yeah.
That's right. While we got a minute, I wanted to let everybody know, I got a notice from the Scott County Sewer District that there is a member who will be stepping down. She's gonna be our new clerk, obviously. So, she's currently on the board. You will have the opportunity to appoint a member to that board come January. And I would suggest that, she had indicated she had 2 suggestions.
Zach, those two, no, we've changed that, I think Tom tried to send you an email last night, didn't
Oh, I
land or
don't
something.
think it
maybe?
went through.
That's what he thought, he didn't think it,
Okay,
so I
Okay.
have spoken to someone else, but he's talking with her right now.
okay,
So,
alright. So, I mean, the board would obviously have some input and just kind of throwing out suggestions, but for new council members, everything, just be aware that should, when you do your appointments at the beginning of the year, that should be one that you address.
Are you able to tell us what member stepped down?
I mean,
Oh, you, okay, thank you.
Are you part of a particular ward for
yes,
that?
Johnson.
So Johnson Ward, so.
And I don't know the number of the ward, I hate to say, mine would have expired at the end of
It's
December.
one.
That's one. That's the one, okay, that would have been, December 31st.
So, obviously, any appointee is gonna need to reside within that ward, but you can consider whoever you would like from that ward.
They can do that in January.
In January, yes, yeah.
Thank you for your service.
It's always crazy in here. I know.
That's okay.
We need to approve a little bit more on the heating bill in here. I know.
We just had to fix that.
We put a wood stove in here.
Don't Zach have something to say to her? Don't Zach have something to say to her?
What?
He was bringing something to the table.
We're waiting for the salary.
Oh, should we sign off on
Zach.
The attorney. Teresa.
Don't spend all the art money next year. Hold on to it. We still need $1 million to go to the sports complex. Don't want to spend all of it. You need a meeting. You need a meeting first of the year and make them sit down and go over the list they have. So all the people that actually put applications in aren't getting left out. The commissioners, for the newly people coming in, stay on the commissioners about the art money, because we took applications from people and we were holding on to them. There was like 14 people that turned them in. We held on to those applications, and I don't think any of those have ever came to us to be approved to take care of them, and we're spending all the art money for other things right now, so just a heads up on that.
You can throw away all that other good stuff. Yeah. You like that one? Well, you can't keep it now. It's on it.
Alright, so now it's 2023.
Okay, what have we done?
Okay, well, I gave the part-times the 1%. As you guys recall from your budget, write those notes, 1% on the part-time. That was adjusted on A. Zach, do you want, because this is on A, do you want to talk about the contractual with that?
For the paramedic
Yeah,
program
yes.
director.
Yes.
So I think previously we had I think it's actually a different fund, there was a line item within there for the paramedic program director. We had entered in, and that was a contractual line item. We contracted with a third party to, do that. contract amount was $8,200. There have been some discrepancies, I guess, or interruptions in that contract in the last year. Basically, what we're asking is that money be no longer a contractual line item, be allotted for internal use by EMS specifically, and they have a individual who can complete that work, and it would not change the rate of pay that she is currently receiving as a paramedic. And I think it would just be subject to overtime pay. We've estimated, I think, that the amount could be up to $1,300. Is that, am I saying that right?
With the addition to that, going from a contractually serviced to and using an employee internally, the rate of pay, we just, on the salary ordinance, you'll see it down in emergency medical services. It's just above the instructor line, which is the last line in that section. It's Paramedic Training Institute Director. It is subject to overtime. There's a note on there, as Zach said. And the rate of pay, to keep it consistent, we just set it with the instructor pay, because it's a similar type position. And then estimated 416 hours a year. At straight pay is 7246, 60, 72, and that's under the contract, original contract, about 8,200, correct? Okay, so, that can be filled, I guess, internally instead of looking at outsourcing. So that was an addition, that's the brand new thing that's on this, otherwise everything else is the same.
But it's money that we had already allocated for the things.
And under contractual and paramedic
So we're
training.
not doing anything more. I'm gonna approve.
I second.
Alright, Lindy,
If anything, we're just taking the money that's in the contractual line item and moving it to the instructor line item that's already there. There's no more money, we're not asking for more money, it's just being moved from one line to the other.
alright, Lindy motion to approve and Diane seconded. All in favor?
You managed to get me
7-0.
thoroughly confused, so I go aye.
Oh, I gotta, I need to take mine back, I need to vote no, because Rachel will destroy it.
It's just this line item that we were talking about earlier.
We're just moving.
That's all.
Are we done then?
This salary ordinance has got the election workers on here. That was taken care of in an amendment that we had, so I condensed all that. I pulled that into one document. So the election's back in there, as it was approved at the last amendment, because those aren't really, they're outside of your, again, we got so many different scenarios at the county. There's this group, there's that group, and they all have their own little rules. So it's, that's why I had so many questions a while ago. I don't think there's anything on here that, all the orange is gone, people, so that's good. Yeah, when the orange is gone, we're in better shape. So the A is there in front of you, with the paramedic school change and the 1% to part-time positions. Best I could find it down through there, I did it 1%. And this is an up to, so if, that's, as always, our little wiggle room there we've got. If we find a position that was not correct, then we can always go lower, we can't go higher, okay? So, your elected official salary ordinance, section B, that has the 3% raise. There you go, so that's B. And C reflects a 1.5% raise to the base, the entry-level pay for jailers and sheriff's deputies. A 1.5% on, last year they were getting $21.50, now they'll be $21.82, and then everybody else will fall on that matrix in their appropriate year by seniority, which will give them the 1.5% for each year that they've been here. It just, you hit that one button, it calculates everybody up, okay? So, I had to know that to set the matron's pay, so we're good. I corrected the matron's pay on the front page. Jailers are same way, and then to clarify something too, your detectives are paid a flat $2,000 more than your road deputies. So you adjust the road deputies' pay, and then if anybody's promoted to detective, they get a $2,000 additional. There's no raise on the 2,000, okay? Then also the same thing with the jailers and the supervisors. 2,080 hours a year worked, 50 cents an hour stipend for the supervisor. Your jailers are set, then your supervisors get 1,040 a year flat on top of that. There's no raises on the supervisor's pay. So I just want to explain that in case anybody asks you, you know, why didn't I get a 1.5% of my entire rate I'm getting paid right now? It's because the 1,040 and the 2,000 is separate deal, okay? And I think that's it. I don't have any more questions.
What's the number, please?
The
salary ordinance number.
Is that, oh, we're gonna call it 2020, well, it's actually 2023-001, but I guess we'll need to, we can, I don't care, well, I guess we'll just keep it that way. Cause that's the first ordinance we always adopt for the next year. Cause we have to have the elected set by December 31st.
I move it.
I'll second. To approve Scott County Salary Ordinance 2023-001, A, B, and C as shown to us at this meeting. All in favor? Everybody good? 7-0.
No.
What?
Before we,
Alright, so 6 opposed, 1, Donnie.
Did they do the EMS transport vehicle grant thing? Did they talk about that?
No, Devon said that it wasn't available.
before we adjourn, we have some things to commemorate our outgoing members. So, the 2 years that I've worked here, I appreciate everything and have learned so much, and we've had our disagreements, but I think we all still love each other. But we have some plaques for you, so, you just wanna hand them out, or you want them to come up? Donnie Ritchie?
Yeah, you guys need to get someplace we can get a picture, I
Oh.
probably don't, yeah.
I guess so.
Maybe come over here.
I'll do a picture. Hey, Donnie.
Well, how do you do this? Oh, I thought you'd use your phone. Oh, well, you had it with your phone, I thought you wanted me to use yours.
Everybody's
supposed to take a better
Yeah.
Well, we might as well go up there now, right?
Let's just do it all at once. You're there.
Right together.
Rachel?
Here, Diana.
Karen, we'll do all that and then we'll get it.
Scrunch together a little bit, and act like you like each other. All right, 1, 2, 3. Let me get another one. 1. Oh, that's good.
Oh, got my glasses on.
Now you're trying to.
All right, no good. You have some more glasses?
My face is in there.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
1, 2, 3.
Operators class for social.
No, thank you, everybody. And best of luck to you guys. Come on, officer.
Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll second it. I'll see if I get or not. I was trying to send it to people this morning. But I was trying to get ready.
And I'll get everybody to sign that.